ready for this?
Me. Welcome to Deeply Disturbing Things.
The podcast.
I'm Macy.
I'm Naomi.
I'm Sarah.
And this is Volcom. And we are three anxious counselors with an emotional support animal. And we're here to share deeply disturbing things with you today.
Or maybe we'll sprinkle in some psychologicalness. We'll see.
We like to do that on the fly.
Just sprinkle it in.
I just got back from vacation. So I went to, it's probably my third time there, to the Rosacrucian Museum in San Jose, California. And I wanted to share about that.
Yeah.
Have you heard about
right.
the Rosacrucian Order?
Mm-mm.
I have not. My husband's brother lived in San Jose for a really long time, though, so I bet they know all about it.
You'll have to ask about the Rosacrucian
Yeah, I'll see if he
Museum.
knows.
So the Rosacrucian Order, the particular one I'm going to be talking about is the ancient mystical order Rosæ Crucis, which the symbol is the rosy cross.
So this is your topic too?
This is my topic.
Cool. Okay.
Two, in addition to what?
Well, the
Just
fact that it was
letting us
like a
know.
thing. Yeah, like that you went and did a thing.
Oh, I did a thing. And if you want to see the photos I'll be sharing in a bit, be our Patreon. It's only $1. So the Rosacrucian Order is a mystical order.
Question. I know I'm going to be
Yes.
annoying right off the bat. Mystical Order. I feel like remember we were going to start our cult.
Yeah.
What was it called again?
Well, we were gonna do Aletheia, I think, which means truth. But then I met an Aletheia here at yoga class, and now I feel like we can't do that.
Right. Okay. Well, can we have a mystic order?
Oh, yeah, for sure we can have
Yeah.
a
But like, what makes
order.
it mystic?
Yeah, so the Rosicrucian Order is a mystical order. They study esoteric knowledge from three main traditions: the Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and Christian Gnosticism. So they pursue knowledge from these sources for the purposes of benefiting themselves and humankind. So it's about expanded consciousness, enlightenment, and so on. So there's scientific, philosophical, and spiritual pathways. So it's like a combination of those things, like science,
Hermetic side. Yeah.
philosophy, and spirit.
Okay.
So there's not just one Rosicrucian society, but I'm going to talk about the one that I visited. Modern Rosicrucian societies have roots in the 1600s. So from what I learned at this time, there was like religious and political like instability, and somebody put out these three like Rosicrucian documents, and people kind of picked up on them and grabbed onto them as like, okay, this is some answers. This could provide some direction in life.
And this came out of California, like originally?
No, like Europe,
Oh, okay.
like Western
That's
Europe.
older.
Yeah, Western Europe. So one of the modern orders that still exist is this Rosicrucian Order, which has a center in San Jose, California. They have a whole city block. It's pretty impressive. And so on this block, they have a planetarium, they have a library, they have the museum, they have a temple, they have a labyrinth, they have
Wow.
fountains, and they have a peace garden. Like they have a cool city block, and it's open to the public, which I love.
Mhm.
So you only have to pay to go into the museum, but it's free to just enjoy the grounds, and it's quite lovely. There's like a koi pond, and it's very peaceful.
Big koi pond.
Interestingly, that area was chosen back in the 20s because land was cheap. Now we know now, this is the heart of Silicon Valley. It is anything but cheap.
Wow.
And to have a
Good
whole city
investment.
block right in the shit, like that's pretty, uh, you know,
How did you
okay.
find what made you want to go to this place? Did you hear about this previously? Were you walking by at one point and wanted to know more?
I went to it
Never
a
heard of
long
it.
time ago first. I don't know, maybe a school field trip, who knows?
Hmm.
Uh, and then I went again, like as a tourist after I moved out of the area. And then my son Skylar was pretty young at that time, but he had like a lot of cool memories about it. And he's all in with all this esoteric knowledge and
Hmm.
occult stuff. So this was like we all have picks when we go on vacation, like, okay, what's something you want to do? What's something you want to do? And this was like his number one, like want to go to the Rosacrucian Museum. So
That's cool.
that's why we went. And it's
Nice.
it's really interesting. I mean, I like going to interesting places. I don't like, going to the where everybody wants to go as a tourist. Like I like these kind of weird places.
Growing up close to my house, there was a Buddhist temple, and I went there multiple times because it was just a beautiful place, and their temple was so cool. And
Yeah.
you could just, yeah, feel just the peacefulness of the grounds, and it was just this really big area. And yeah, I would go there like, I don't know, like 3 times, and I just like places like that too.
Yeah. Have you seen that giant white Buddha in Hilliard?
No,
Have you, Macy?
Is
Oh,
it
we'll have
new?
to go there sometime.
field trip.
It's some people like don't know about it. It's a giant white Buddha up there outside a Buddhist temple there
Oh,
in Hilliard. Like, who would think?
yeah.
Um, so their research library has this like cool rare books room. It has, a really remarkable collection. And so the really kind of like the big draw for non-Rosicrucians to go here is they have an Egyptian museum. So they have the largest collection of ancient Egyptian artifacts in the whole western half of the United States in
Like
this Egyptian museum.
a soft guy?
They have many guys.
Many guys.
Uh, yeah. So ancient Egypt is revered as one of the Rosicrucian source of knowledge. And the study of Egyptian knowledge is a way to discover the divine laws that govern the universe that we, in modern society, we've lost touch with.
Hmm.
And this is from Schuyler, this little piece, because I was like, why are they studying Egypt? Like, what's that about? And so he said that it's a way to connect with the divine laws that discover the universe that we have lost touch with because we value human laws. So he was telling me that there are greater realities that if there was more awareness of, we wouldn't need things like police and prisons. So we're really kind of
Yeah.
trapped in human laws versus like the bigger picture. So if we were more tapped into divine laws and more enlightened, then people would govern themselves and we wouldn't need all that.
Sense.
And I think that's really interesting because we're just doing a topic and I was sharing like we actually don't need prisons. Like that's a social construct that it's not like a must-have, but I think we think like, oh, that is like a must-have.
I mean, there are other options. Cullings, you know,
Well,
kill
if
the
we had
dragon.
greater enlightenment and self-governance, we wouldn't even need police or anything like that. It would be a totally different system. Think about Star Trek. It's all barter, like everybody's
I
just
don't
doing
like to think about
art,
Star Trek, honestly.
or like Native American
It
culture, like everybody's just
hurts my
doing their
brain.
part, you know?
Right, right. I feel like though, like it would have to be a like blank slate. Like let's start with the next generation. We're all ruined. Someone's gonna mess it up.
Or we could have a big thing that could rock our world, like obvious visitor contact, I think could be something like that.
Because we're all really good at agreeing about
Well,
things
that
that
would
really
at least
happen.
make us realize that we're all humankind, and that would be a step in the right direction, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
for people. So ancient Egypt was a society with cultural and technological advances that are still present today. So it's considered a complex society, which I don't know if I like that term because what is that? What are the implications for other societies that are not deemed complex?
Right.
But there's a lot preserved from this time that we can learn from, such as the legacy of their writing and a mathematics system. And I learned that ancient Egyptians developed the 24-hour day that we still live by and the 365-day calendar that we still use.
Hmm.
Pretty
Actually,
cool.
I knew that from probably from a school project at some point. Like go Mount Spokane High School or maybe elementary school. I don't know. Wherever they felt like
One
they
of
could get some
those.
useless knowledge at the time.
So here's a picture of the outside of the museum. So you can see everything is done in Egyptian style. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very
See,
nice.
and I wouldn't, I honestly wouldn't, I don't think I really know what Egyptian style is. Like I've seen a lot of like I've been to Athens and Rome and like more Greek stuff, but I don't think I've really seen too much Egyptian art or architecture. I mean,
Well, there you have it.
pretty. It's really pretty.
Yes.
Did you take, oh, you said you have more pictures that you're gonna post up.
Yeah, that was just the first picture. So, do you think I was kind of thinking this was problematic, but do you think it's problematic that the Rosacrucian Order owns all of these Egyptian artifacts? Like, should they be in the hands of non-Egyptians?
I was
Um,
wondering why, yeah, it just seemed like strange that they would have
yeah, I feel like
this.
Nicolas Cage is gonna break in at some point.
And I do acknowledge this is a question that is way beyond this. Like there are many museums that own things that belong to other cultures and many
And many that
individual people
It
that own
depends
things that belong to other people's.
many have had to
how,
give them back.
yeah, like how did they come across this? Or did they buy them? Did they like why do they have them?
Yeah, I don't know the story behind everything,
If
but
it's
I would think
stolen, they probably
if I
shouldn't have
was an
it.
Egyptian person, I feel like I might find it, you know, problematic
Right.
that these are in the hands of somebody that is not Egyptian. And
Hmm.
you
There was one
I
of those
guess
in
if they're just for
Paris.
sale.
In Paris, they have an Egyptian like tomb thing that they had transported there, and it's a big exhibit. But yeah, there's like some controversy about like how they got it.
Yeah. So there is a replica of an Egyptian tomb in the museum. And so they went, I can't remember the name of the tomb that they visited, but they took video of it and then they came back to San Jose and recreated it, which is kind of neat. I didn't really want to go in there because I get a little claustrophobic, but Stella really wanted to go in.
Gotta be a
I've been
trooper.
in it before. Um, so I went in it for her, but I'll show you a picture of the opening of it. I was just like the whole time, like, are you ready to go? You done? You seen enough? And she was, no, she was like all in, so I had to stay. But you keep going like down and down, which I don't love,
I don't like that either.
like underground. So this is the opening of it.
Ooh, very cool.
So you go in, it's all dark. Um, there's a tour guide that's like obviously in high school drama class that's like
Over the top.
over the top, too loud. Like, don't shout at me. I don't like it. Don't make me participate in activities. I don't like it. But it goes down and down and down. And then,
I would feel a little panicky on that one too.
no, yeah, I kept asking Stella, I'm like, all right, you ready to Because I will fully leave a tour group. I have no problem with that. I was gonna book it out of there. But she was loving it. So in the last area, so like a reconstruction of where the tomb would be, and it had like lots of cool scenes from the Book of the Dead recreations. So,
Ooh.
I mean, it's neat, but doesn't fit with my anxiety. You know that lava tube, like right outside
Yeah.
Bend, Oregon, that goes like a mile underground? Have either of you ever been in that?
I haven't been
Mm-mm.
in it. I've been outside of it. I just like, what are the odds? I don't care
So
enough.
when Skylar was like little, he wanted to go in that, and so I took him in it. But as soon as we rounded that first corner and it's like pitch blackness, I'm like, all right, we're at the end. Let's go. Like I totally like made him think we were done. Even
I
though we're like barely in it. I
don't
have
even
admitted this to him to now, so he knows.
I
There's
don't
no
even
way
like the
I'm going a
haunted.
mile underground in a fucking lava tube in like darker than darkness.
Mm-mm. I
No.
don't even like those haunted mazes where you get trapped in the where all these guys are jumping out at you. And it's not necessarily about them jumping out, but it's about you're like in this maze and trapped in there, and then there's all these people around. It's very claustrophobic.
Yeah,
I don't think I've been in one of those.
I have. And I panicked. And then I was like starting to like pat down the walls. I'm like, I'm getting out. And
Yeah,
then
if
I was like gonna try to find the like through the wall. And then I
like
ended
the
up like
exit, I need the exit.
grabbing some random person until they led me out, and it was not the person I was with.
Interesting.
You've never been in one of those?
I don't think so.
Like the
It's a
scary
bit,
Halloween?
yeah, the one that I was in was a like it was a like blackout one, so like you couldn't see anything, and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
And too many people in
I
there.
went to one on the Queen Mary, which is supposedly really haunted.
I've heard that's really haunted.
Yeah, and we were down like in the boiler room, just going through all these corridors, and they were telling us about ghost sightings, and then people were jumping out too. And I was so scared.
Naomi, at the building where you used to work, the
On Howard Street?
yeah, the caterpillar. So I called the reception the three in reception. The caterpillars, they they created a card, by the way, that made that a thing. They invited me down to the scary like boiler room.
Oh, the basement down there?
Yeah, where all like the
Yeah.
records are kept and everything from back in Paperland. And
Yeah.
and they were like telling me all like the ghost stories and stuff that had happened down there. It was scary.
No, I think all of downtown Spokane and Brown's Edition is fully haunted,
I think
100%.
boiler rooms in
I believe
general are
that
haunted.
it's
Yeah.
got like a really dark, heavy vibe downtown.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. It's definitely doesn't even on like nice events and stuff, there's still just a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Like
Mhm.
on your bachelorette party when we were walking around, it's just, I don't know. I'm always kind of, you just feel like somebody's watching you
Well, because you
because
probably
there are a lot of
we are.
people down there watching around the corner.
So, okay, what was the name of this thing again? You were saying that they had like the order,
You
the
mean my
Mystic
topic?
Order. Yeah.
You mean what's the name of my topic?
Yeah, the Mystic Order
The Rosacrucian.
Rosacrucian. Okay.
So this museum has many actual mummies.
Hmm.
And this bothered me. And maybe I'm like adding to the problem by even
Their
showing.
fingers look really extra long.
Well, what bothered me is it's okay, it's unwrapped, it's on display. This is like a person. And the Egyptians placed a lot of value in the place that you buried somebody being connected with their happy afterlife, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like they buried them with their pets and like
All their stuff.
food and stuff. And it just seems exposed to me and like,
Hmm.
is this person not enjoying their happy afterlife because they're in this museum?
Saw one like
Is it
that.
disrespectful to display somebody like that?
I think so because when I saw one that trying to think of what museum, I think it was in Amsterdam, and there was a and it was like it was a skeleton, like female, like clutching like her baby infant skeleton.
Oh.
And like it just felt like really violating. Like I don't like it's not my thing. Like it's I don't know.
I
Yeah,
was
and if
watching.
this is your people, like
Yeah,
I feel like that it would be particularly offensive.
Mhm.
right. I
So
agree.
they have many, many mummies. I mean, not like many, but they have a handful of mummies. One we don't have a photo of because apparently everybody's phone died and we just got a few photos. But one of them was a 4.5-year-old girl mummy,
No.
which is Stella's exact age. So
Oh.
she was very interested in that mummy.
Oh,
We
did you
Yeah.
remember
spent a
when we
lot
took
of
her
time at that
to
mummy.
see the T-Rex
Wow.
skeleton and she cried?
I did traumatize her with the fake T-Rex skeleton.
Yes, that was a tough day.
Why?
That
She was
was,
upset that the dinosaur had died.
well, I don't think she
She
expected there
wanted
to
to go.
actually be a T-Rex skeleton that I was showing her. I think
Yeah, she really
she
wanted
thought
to
it was
go.
imaginary.
She didn't know what it meant fully. And then she saw it, and then reality hit all at once that things die. And it was too much too soon, I think.
It
She was
was
having an
sad. It
existential
was too
crisis.
much.
Yeah,
I got her out of there. It was one of those just like pick up your kid and go.
yeah,
It's
you
not
didn't
the time
know.
to like work it out or like have a
Hmm.
discussion. I'm like, okay,
Because
then we're leaving.
we're like, oh, look at that. And like, because at first you could tell she was trying to be excited because she'd built herself up for it. And then all of a sudden comes the welling of the tears, just like she couldn't even help herself. It was just so reactionary. It's like, oh my
It
gosh,
was
run,
very
run,
sad.
run, get her.
We have worked back up. We did a little exposure therapy. She
Yeah,
can go look at it now. So
she
So
can
how'd
handle,
she
she
do
can
with
handle.
the 4-year-old mummy then? I mean,
she was
she.
very interested.
Yeah.
A lot of
Wow.
questions. She looked at the exhibit for a really long time.
Wow.
Mhm.
She had, wanted to, because I was with her at that exhibit at first, and then her dad came over and she wanted to tell her dad all about it and
Hmm.
everything. Yeah, so she's very interested in that. Okay,
In a couple of years.
so I'm not gonna like show like a whole bunch of photos, but I just have a few. So they have real canopic jars. So this is where you'd put like the soft bits, like the
Mhm.
intestines and things
Right.
that they remove prior to the mummification process. It's a big museum. I mean, the exhibit it's impressive, it's interesting, it's educational. I just also find it problematic.
Mhm. Would you like
It's
your
made
soft
out of
bits on
agate.
display?
Yeah, I think that's made out of agate.
I mean,
So,
I
yeah, go
I
ahead.
kind of wouldn't.
What?
I said, would you want your soft bits on display?
No, no.
And like, are they still soft in there? Probably not.
All
There's probably
right.
nothing in the jars.
So from when the
Dust,
very
maybe.
first time I went to the museum, there was one thing that like stuck in my mind as like something to see at the museum. So I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
This is for me the highlight. Cat mummy, real cat mummy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, is it the middle one or the both of them?
The middle one is the cat mummy. There's a real cat mummy inside there. There was also a kitten mummy that was smaller,
Hmm.
but I just, first of all, like cats were revered. So that's why they'd want to take them to the afterlife with them. Also, I think the face that they made on it is cute.
It is kind of cute.
And also, there's a dead cat mummy in there. It's so much interesting. So many levels of interesting.
Is that a cow mummy next to it?
Yeah, that's a cow mummy next to it, but I didn't find it as interesting as the cat mummy.
That mummy.
What do y'all think of the cat mummy?
I want to have a cat mummy for when my cat dies now.
Mummifier cat.
I still want to freeze dry something. Huh?
Yeah, you can freeze dry your pets. It's a thing.
Would you be lighter? You'd be so much lighter.
So that, yeah, because taxidermy, that I don't like that idea. But you could freeze dry.
Oh yeah, we have a whole episode about it. Freeze dried
Oh.
pets.
Oh, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a must listen to. It's hilarious.
It is a good episode.
Okay.
So the museum also has a 1.5 million year old stone hand axe, but it's not available to see. But that's old. That's an
Then
old.
I'm gonna say I don't believe you.
Yeah, sure you do.
You know what else we got?
Yeah.
We've got, but I'm not showing you. Nothing.
So last time I went to the Rosacrucian Museum, which was a while back, I really was like kind of fascinated. And I'm like, maybe I'll join. And I looked into it, and it was $150 a year. And then I'm like, well,
What do they do other than take mummy bodies? I mean, I know the
Yeah, what else did they do besides
like the
collect
philosophy
Egyptian
part.
artifacts?
Yeah, like what's their like
Spiel.
I'll let you
purpose in
know.
life?
So I was impressed that the price was still the same
Hmm.
to become a member of the Rosacrucian Order. It's still $150 a
One-time
year.
payment, one-time.
Lifetime
That's the
enrollment.
annual. You can also do a $15 a month if you're afraid of commitment.
That's pretty comparable to the Best Buy technology
It's cheaper than Amazon Prime.
Geek Squad.
So again, I like had a moment of should I join? But I'm still off the fence. So
So
here are the
what do they
benefits of membership, though. I mean, for $150 a year, you'll get spiritual wisdom. We can
Just
all
like
do all of that.
granted upon me?
No, you have to do some work.
Oh.
Expanded awareness,
Also work?
sense of connectedness,
Do I have to work for that?
mastery of life.
Yeah, that all sounds really great. Definitely better than Amazon.
How often are there meetings and what kind of work?
No mandatory meetings.
So I don't have to engage with people. And then how much work?
You can, like, if you live in the area or you're visiting, you can do some in-person stuff, but you can also do this all on your own, hermiting at home.
I told you our cult, the dentist will just give us the money.
So Rosicrucians, they're very clear that it's not a religion and it doesn't require you to change your religion if you have one.
Sorry, I'm stuck.
That's a good, yeah, I was wondering about that.
The Rosicrucian path incorporates both metaphysics and mysticism. So metaphysics is all that stuff that falls like outside the senses, which we talked about in my Reality Isn't Real episode.
Mm-hmm.
And mysticism is the process by which you can experience conscious union with universal intelligence. It's also known as like cosmic consciousness or divine consciousness.
Does it say how we do these things?
Yeah.
You have to get the membership. Is this like rumpology?
No.
Okay.
You get weekly lessons
Sent to you?
sent
Or
to you in your email.
are there classes too?
They involve not only like lessons like you read some stuff, but most importantly, there are techniques to practice or experiments to conduct. So there's an application. The application is essential because you can't just learn about it and read about it and keep it academic. You have to embody it. You have to live it and try it out for yourself.
I like that. Yeah.
So new students would start with introductory courses. And by the time you get to the 7th level of the introductory lessons, then you're getting to learn about the aura and astral projection. So projection of the psychic body.
Ooh,
I know, it's so interesting, right?
I do that.
Every time I go there, I'm like, maybe I should join. So beyond, after you do those fundamental introductory principles, there are levels called atriums. And in the first atrium, you learn the power of thought, the creative power of visualization, telepathy, and the law of the triangle, which we all know is the strongest shape in the world.
I think we should join.
Just to see, just as an experiment in and of
Yeah, I
it.
mean, you could do the monthly fee, get some of the lessons. If it seems like a bunch of hocus pocus, then we are out.
I know $15 really. I
Just a
think I
bunch of focus
pay more
groups.
for that for YouTube Premium.
And we can report back.
We can report back.
I say we do one person, and then if you astral project or you start doing telepathy, I will sign up 100%.
But wait, don't you have to get way high into the levels to start doing the cool stuff?
Sorry.
You have to pay a lot of money.
This
Well,
bulldog just-
telepathy, that's in the first atrium, so this is still
Is
pretty,
it?
yeah.
Oh,
The second atrium involves healing. The third atrium starts moving beyond the physical body and the psychic faculties into the realm of the mystical. So now we're dealing with good and evil, free will, and karma.
Interesting. I practice telepathy with Marcus. We'll do like little games where we'll think of something and then have the other one try to guess what you're thinking, or have like these little cards. And
Like in Ghostbusters?
I don't do it all the time. Like I'm not,
yeah.
but we've like played that before.
Yeah, it's interesting. So after you go through the atrium levels, you're no longer considered a newbie, and then you can progress to what's called the temple degrees. And there are 9 of those, I believe. Yeah, 9 temple degrees. And so as you go through, you're starting with like positive and negative as vibratory polarities. And I'm really interested in like vibration and everything. So that like I kind of want to like level
Oh
jump.
yeah,
Can I
the
just
rocks
get
that you
to
got
the
that.
first temple degree and like go there? But I think you have to like earn it. You can't
Mhm.
skip ahead.
Yeah. When does the TSA like pre-check kick in? Like when do I get to skip the line at the airport?
Oh, don't bring it up. I was so stupid at the
Oh,
airport and I stupidly gave away my eyeball image of me and the boys. Because
for what?
I got like roped into the stupid like shortcut thing.
I
I thought it
have
was
TSA and I never
real.
had to do an eyeball.
What eyeball thing?
Don't do it. It was I hate myself. I have serious
TSA
regrets
pre-check is
about
just a
that.
thumbprint.
No, this was eyeball recognition. So now I can, me and
Yeah.
my kids are fully like, can be cloned.
I need to be able to burn my fingertips off at some point. Just saying.
My eyeballs are out there.
Oh no,
I have serious regret.
that was a big mistake.
I was just caught in this whole anxiety. I didn't know what was happening. They're like licking the thing, and then I did.
That's how they
Like,
get
I don't
you.
want to. Like I didn't want to, and then I
Pressure.
did. Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh no.
Okay.
We'll
So
save you one day from the government camp.
Does Skylar want to join this mystic order?
no.
Oh,
Why
Because
not?
he has all the same knowledge from he does his own research.
hmm.
None of this is shocking or new to him. He knows all this stuff.
Okay.
So in his opinion though, that this isn't like unique knowledge that you can only get through them.
No, but
That's good to know.
they organize it and synthesize it for you, which is nice if you don't want to do all the work.
Well, but like how do you know?
But you
Really?
could be missing out on things that are important.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that he does his own research and has his own library and
Yeah.
it's his
Did it
own
did it give a timeline on how long it takes to get through? I mean,
5 years if you do an hour and a half a week.
wow.
And
I
it's
just make
essential
that
that you do the
a-
activities. You can't just like do the reading and think about it. You have to.
And so once you complete that, then what are you? Enlightened.
Well, then you can do the initiation ceremony, but they're very clear that just because you reach that level and you become an initiate, it does not mean that you are enlightened. And also they're very clear, which I appreciate, that says just because you don't go through that doesn't mean you aren't enlightened either. So
Such as Skylar
yeah, like there's many paths to get to the same
to enlightenment.
destination. So
Hmm.
what I appreciated about Rosicrucians over Scientology, for example, is I feel like they have transparency.
Yeah. Scientology came to mind, but Scientology, I mean, it sounds like their mission is for the good, and Scientology has a lot of weird
I don't
other
fully
things.
understand the intent and purpose of either of them, in full honesty, but I have not done my research, so.
Yeah.
Well, Scientology, which was actually one of in Macy's first joint episodes where we both brought the same topic
At
under
the same time. Hmm.
So they don't have like a lot of transparency. Like you don't realize until you've gone pretty far into it that all of a sudden there's going to be a whole like science fiction like Xenu character that comes in like an alien. Also, I think even though Scientology has a not-for-profit status, they seem very profity to me.
Yeah. And they
Well,
want
and they
to keep
use
you away
celebrities.
from, they'll isolate you, have them isolate from family and friends
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
part of it. That's all
Yeah,
just,
Rosicrucian, you don't have to like move anywhere. There's
yeah.
none of that. Yeah, so Skylar has respect for this group, definitely, but doesn't feel a need to join. So when we're going through these temple degrees, you work on how to strengthen your will, how to boost your imagination, get into the purpose of life. You get into time, space, infinity, eternity. I mean, all this sounds so interesting to me, other than the fifth temple degree, which gets into classical philosophy. I could take that or leave it.
Mhm.
Uh, and then the sixth one, you're talking about cellular health and how to restore or maintain like vibrant physical and health and psychic equilibrium. Seventh degree, how to perceive other people's auras, which would be interesting.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it gets into like how to tap into the power of dreams, the mystical power of vowel sounds and mantras. Then
Did
the
any of
eighth,
it feel pyramid schemey at all? I know I'm always the one to throw in that little seed of
no,
doubt, but
because it's only $15 a month or 150 a year. There's it.
I
There's
know,
no
but like
option.
times how many people, I mean, we try to get $1, like
They aren't saying like go out and
Recruit.
be a missionary
well,
or
and that's what I'm saying, like because we don't fully know the steps, like I'm wondering if there's any like steps or stages along the way.
Where they start pressuring you to go, and
no,
yeah.
there's nothing like that. It sounds like it's kind of like like an online asynchronous study program is what it seems like to me.
Hmm.
Well, so I had a family member who did a like online certificate in and basically kind of like aura reading things, and they labeled it a certificate, and she spent like $250 on that. And like and then like what do you actually do with that realistically? And that's hard. So like I'm wondering if is it like just geared towards as a religion, or is it geared
Oh,
towards like a
it's
like what's their audience?
individual spiritual growth,
Okay. Okay.
And
and
healing,
that's
it
that's
sounds like
it.
healing some
Healing yourself, but there's also a
Looking it up.
bigger purpose of that. It can benefit humankind.
Hmm.
So it starts with you, change starts with me. But really, there's larger repercussions to
Hmm.
it.
oh,
Eighth temple degree, we're getting into immortality, talking about the
Nice.
mysteries of birth and death, the evolution of the soul. The ninth temple degree, which is the last one. So now you're really getting advanced experiments that give you the opportunity to utilize the highest metaphysical powers and practical ways to affect positive conditions in your environment and your life. And then after that, if you want to, you can do the initiation ceremony, which you can go in person and do that, or you can just do it at home alone. And if it isn't like that scene in Peggy Sue Got Married, I want no part of it.
Rosacrucia, is that what you said?
Yeah.
what's the scene?
You know that movie, Peggy Sue Got Married?
Oh,
Oh my God, with Nick Cage and Kathleen Turner when the
It's a
grandparents are
flower.
trying to save her.
mm-mm.
And so like the grandparents are part of like some kind of like secret society like this. And so they
Mhm.
bring her in there. There's lots of like robes and candles and like that's what I would want it to be like. Robes and candles for sure.
I joined a sorority my first year when I went to San Diego State, and they had a little initiation ceremony that was very secret society, and we all had to wear white, and there was candles, and it was kind of creepy, cool.
You could be
See, I'm all
co-creating.
about a ritual. I love a good ritual.
I love a good ritual.
So, yeah, it takes about 5 years if you do an hour and a half a week, which is reasonable. Apparently the Scientologists hate the Rosicrucians, which I kind of love, makes me love them more.
Yeah, it's
Makes
a
me
Yeah, we
love
thought
battle.
we were
them
going to be
more.
sniped by the Scientologists. We were just waiting for the day.
Smote me.
Oh,
According to CatholicAnswer.com website, a Catholic should have nothing to do with Rosicrucians.
uh-oh. See,
There you go.
Why?
Because, even though they say that they're not a religion, I mean, it's based on spiritual stuff.
Right.
it's more about instead of believing in God, you're believing in your own power, or you're tapping into your own powers
It's
to
like drawing
do.
from these different sources, like kind of like these are the fruits from the tree of knowledge that they wanted to pick, and they kind of synthesized it and organized it into a program.
Yeah, it doesn't go with the Bible, so that's I don't know.
From the
Well,
Anima
but there is,
Monday School.
Christian Gnosticism
What's
elements.
Gnosticism?
It's like the esoteric kind of, it's kind of like, like the Kabbalah, where it's like the spiritual esoteric version of Judaism, but it's not really religious
Mhm.
necessarily. It's
Did
like
you?
not, it's like a kind of like a side route.
See, I don't like that. I feel like you can add this on to any religion, like a little side dish to
Well, I
give you
am I
a
am
boost.
a religious Jew, not like super religious, but I do eat shrimp. Um, but I think that my belief is like learn about everything out there and like
Mhm.
just find the pieces that fit for me,
Mhm.
whether it's Judaism or something else. Like I find a lot of value in, yoga spiritual teachings.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I find stuff in like Chinese spiritual teachings. Like I,
Yeah.
I it's not just like one book, one teacher for me. It's like where is the knowledge?
See, that's how I don't know. I connect with that also. But then again, it's like growing up Catholic, that's you're only supposed to do that. But then there's so many good things from
And there's
all
so many
the different
similarities,
teachings.
and they all take you into the same place.
I just found
Mhm.
like a whole thing about the rose part of it and like what the rose means, and it's
Yeah, I didn't
interesting.
is Rosa's not a name. It's not a person. It's talking
Rosa Mystica, right?
No, it's the Rosy Cross. That's what Rosicrucian.
Rosacrucian. Well, it was talking
Crucis,
about the
Rosy
the
Cross.
the rose is one of the oldest symbols of divine wisdom and the Holy Spirit, spirit radiating love to our world from the invisible ground of the cosmos.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
We
it has to
really
do with
get into
horrible.
religions. A lot of them, have similarities. I mean, for me personally, where Judaism is different is because there is no afterlife. So it's all about hitting this motherfucker hard. And that speaks to
Beta
me, and I
fish,
love
beta
that
fish.
about being a Jew. It's like this, it's all about life, like life, life, life. So I think, though many pathways go to the same place, there are some differences.
Mhm.
See, I like the idea that there's more after this, and you could still hit this life hard, but then
I
a,
mean, if I
a lot
if
more.
I get over there and there's like haunting opportunities, I'll jump on that.
I mean, I interpreted Sarah's as more of like a round two. Yours was like, let's come back and invade.
I think you have to apply for that. There's an application.
No
That's
problem.
right. Rest in power.
It's
That's
only
gonna be
$15.
To come back and haunt. You're gonna have to.
You need your
after I
mummy
die,
cat.
make sure no one's saying rest in peace. I want rest in power all the way. That's
Well,
gonna
but
be
I'm
my
gonna want
word.
you to haunt me, so I'll say rest in peace just to bother you about it.
But then I'm gonna haunt you extra hard because I'm gonna be
Well,
agitated.
bring it on,
Be
whatever.
like, that was not my motto that we agreed on.
I didn't agree to it.
So I think the Rosicrucians, like they have a nicely organized system. I think it's very like definitely Western influence. I think, I would love a more worldly, like let's bring in the yoga, let's bring in the
Well, they bring in the Egyptian.
Chinese
That
stuff.
part's random.
Well,
Um,
by bringing in.
I think that it will appeal to people that don't know where to look to find their own knowledge or not wanting to put in that effort. It can appeal to those people who want to feel like you're part of a group. It offers a sense of achievement, like with the levels, it's like the Boy Scouts, you're like leveling up. But all that information can be found elsewhere. Maybe even that's better because it's not being filtered for you.
I want to look up what their initiation ceremony is about.
Yeah.
Well, let us know how your initiation goes, Sarah.
Okay.
In 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years later.
Right.
5 years later.
Well, that's it. That's my topic, the Rosacrucian Order.
Until next time, what else smells like roses? The dog shit that just happened behind me.
Oh, does that smell like roses?
Well, that's what people say, right? Like when you go to, I don't know.
Do they?
Like
Stop
they
and
say-
smell the roses.
No, well, that's a different. I was
That's
girls.
my thing for today.
Okay,
Talk
there we
and
go.
smell the roses? Okay. I'm gonna say, you know, seek your own tree of knowledge, whatever that looks like. Like, I think be aware of getting it hand delivered to you, no
And
matter.
rest in power.
And I think that comes down to like what we always say, like trust no one, question everything. Like I think that is really the basis of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Live long, live strong, or short and
Live
fast.
long and prosper.
Cute.
Bye.
Bye.